Hey, this is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. How's it going? What's going on? My name is Ola. I'm the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, Real Estate Money Secrets, my second book. I'm the founder here at myempirepro.com. Welcome, welcome. So today we're going to cover a few topics real quickly. We're going to cover a few topics. Here's a personal invitation to check out our channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button if I say anything that makes sense. Share this with people you know may be interested in real estate investing, real estate wholesaling, real estate money in general. Um, but also, I have another series on this channel, just so you know, it's called the Real Estate Wholesaling 101. You can literally Google it, Real Estate Wholesaling 101, and put my name Ola in front of it, and it should come right up. But with that being said, I have a few topics that we should cover today, and let's have fun with it. All right. Um, we're in the Thanksgiving weekend. Okay. So one thing I want to point out with regards to Thanksgiving, just a timely quick lesson for you as you're here is you need to be grateful with everywhere you find yourself. But not just that, you need to have a gratitude outlook on everything in life. It's very important that you have a gratitude outlook on everything in life. When you encounter crisis, okay, what I'm telling you is easier said than done, okay? But when you encounter crisis, your best chance of coming out of it faster and being better on the other side of it is to actually, um, your best chance is actually when you look at it from a place of gratitude, all right? So I just thought that was a timely lesson that I need to point out for you. You're trying to build this business, but somehow you haven't closed your first deal, right? And you're getting frustrated, right? And I completely understand it. It's a terrible feeling, to be frank and sincere with you, where you feel like you're not accomplishing what you need to accomplish fast enough. Naturally, you feel discouraged. Okay, but I want to encourage you to start looking at things from a gratitude standpoint. What would that look like? What would looking at it from a gratitude standpoint look like? What if you look at it as every mistake you're making right now, you're collecting data, you're collecting experience that will pay off at some point. And that when we tell you never quit, when we tell you don't give up on yourself, it's because there's a practical, real life reason why you shouldn't quit on yourself. If you tell you to show up consistently every day, it's because sometimes your best of best customers need to see you show up every day before they pull the trigger. But if you do that consistently over time, the compounding effect of it is what looks like overnight success when you look at your favorite successful people. So I just want to encourage you, doesn't matter where you are right now, whatever you are feeling right now, just understand that it's temporary, no condition is permanent. Even if you're winning, right? Let's say you're winning right now, you still want to look at things from a gratitude standpoint. Why? Because if you feel too full of yourself, when you do fall apart, there's no way you'll be prepared for that. Sometimes things go down. Sometimes everything you've been working on will crash and crumble just so you can start afresh. It's usually the blessing in disguise because you get to do it better. Nobody wants anything they built to crash, of course. But what I'm telling you, what I'm trying to share with you is that sometimes in life, it's inevitable. Things like that happen. So when you're enjoying life and things are going good for you, you still want to be in a place of gratitude. That way, you're always prepared for the next low in the business because in business and life, things are always highs and higher lows, meaning there's still going to be some lows. Okay. And when you get a higher low, meaning you're still going higher, it's going to feel like it's a low, but you need to see beyond just that moment and just know that you're learning, you're gathering data, you're gathering experiences, you're making mistakes. That's a beautiful thing. Believe it or not, that's a beautiful thing. All right. So with that being said, I wanted to share that with you in the spirit of Thanksgiving, and then we'll be back here soon again as soon as we're done with these topics. Every Tuesday, 4 p.m., we show up here, we hang out live, and if you have any questions, whatever what do you call it? Whatever comment box you see around, you can use it to ask questions. You can also ask later if you're watching, like most people, the rebroadcast. Okay. So the first topic of the day is, should I wholesale real estate? Okay. Should you wholesale real estate? Now, this is a commonly, it's a frequently asked question. That's why I'm answering the question. But the answer is yes. The obvious answer is yes, because you're thinking about it. If you're asking this question, you've encountered the idea, the business model of wholesaling, which is basically finding deeply discounted properties, locking them up under contract, and then selling the contract in exchange for wholesaling fees. Okay, how? Why do you get paid? Because you help people that are too busy find deals, or you help people that would not find the deal. Otherwise, you help them find the deal, and you get paid very handsomely for finding such deals. The highest I've gotten paid for doing exactly what I just told you, it didn't involve my personal credit, didn't involve my personal cash. The only thing involved is sweat equity for the most part, which is learning how to market, right? That's called wholesaling. Okay. So should you wholesale? Well, if you're looking for a nice, healthy income on the side, it's a beautiful skill set to learn. Okay. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's when you should not wholesale. Okay. If you think by any chance, remotely, that this is some kind of get rich quick stuff, right? Don't wholesale. Okay. The fact of the matter is that you will get rich quick with some diligence, some consistency, keeping things simple, but also learning the skill set. You will make money, and you will make more money than an average human being. Okay. However, you will only lose money if you come here into this game with the mindset of get rich quick. Okay. If you get rich in the next 5 years, is that get rich quick? Yes, absolutely, because most human beings will actually never get rich. Okay. If you make $10,000, $20,000 per month, $30,000 per month from an average deal, right? In the next 2, 3 years, from taking the time, 6 months or so, or maybe less, or maybe more, to learn the skill set, is it worth it? Is that kind of like getting rich quick? Yes, when you look at things from a grand scheme, considering that most people will never get rich, or most people will never make more than $4,000 a month, right? But that mindset, when you're looking at things from a standpoint of you're about to put in effort, that mindset can put you in a position of lack of patience. Okay, can put you in a position of entitlement, where you feel like, oh, people that teach this, they're just teaching it because they just, well, if you can't comprehend the idea of somebody flipping a piece of paper, right, for $10,000, if that doesn't even make sense, if you don't understand, if you haven't taken the time to understand that lawyers do that all the time, right? They flip contracts all the time. When you see people advertise big billboards and say, if you had an accident yesterday, we're going to help you. If where your mind goes is they're just going to help you just because they're nice. If you don't understand that that's a business model for them, I would say avoid coming into this game. If you have a problem with upsells, right? If you have a problem with spending money on tools, if you have a problem comprehending, wrapping your mind around the idea that at the end of the day, this is business, okay? Meaning you have to serve people, right? If you have a problem comprehending that, I would say avoid wholesaling real estate, because it's business like like any other business, and your faith will be tested. Okay, there will, in the beginning, you could close a deal very quickly within a week, which is a setup for disappointment, because the next deal will not come that quick, right? Because you're brand new, right? But if you have a problem spending the next 3 months mastering a skill set, we have an 11 days challenge to help you set up a campaign. It's not 11 days to close a deal, it's 11 days to start generating leads. If you don't know the difference between leads and deals, if you don't understand, if you will not comprehend the idea that lead generation is how you measure success and not how many deals you close, right? I will say, don't bother, okay? But if you understand that this is a game of business and life, like any other thing, and you will have to give, the more value you bring into the game, the more money you're going to make, okay? If you're a little bit patient more than the next person, or you're at least willing to learn how to be patient more than the next person, and you want to learn skill set over the next 11 days that you can repeat over and over every 11 days. So 22, 33 days, 44 days that you can go through. You're willing to dedicate so you can make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month if you're willing to understand that it's a skill set. And we're talking marketing skill set to be precise. If you're willing to understand that, yes, you should wholesale real estate. If you don't, if you're just looking for a fly-by night because some guy, some kid you know around the block said, hey, he's wholesaling, everyone should be wholesaling too. You're just a fanboy on Instagram, don't bother. You're going to get frustrated out of the game, okay? And it won't be anybody else's fault. In fact, it won't be your fault, but I'm letting you know right now, stay out of the game of entrepreneurship altogether if a little bit of frustration frustrates you. If you see frustration as an obstacle that, hey, just another obstacle we need to get over, then absolutely entrepreneurship, especially wholesaling real estate, is for you. All right. So that's the way I would answer that question. All right. The next topic we want to discuss here is how to get rich flipping houses. The way you get rich flipping houses is to build a pipeline, a lead pipeline. Okay. You need to build a lead pipeline. It's something I cover extensively in the book. So you want to make sure you get your hands on the book. If you're brand new here, by the way, make sure you get your hands on the book. Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. You can see it on the screen right there. And in this book, I covered quite a bit of stuff, right? But the book surrounds the idea of the three core pillar. Okay. First core pillar being value. Second core pillar being automation. Okay. And then third core pillar being people. Okay. Money comes from people. Okay. Money comes from people. Money doesn't come from properties. It comes from people. Yes, we're in the real estate business. Okay. Yes, you're still in the right place. We're in the real estate business. But if you can't get a hold of the people that control the real estate property, you're wasting time. If you have a list of property addresses, that's not leads. That's just data. Okay. All you have access to is data. If you drive around town writing down addresses, the only thing you're doing is called data collection, which, yes, chapter 3 of this book is all about data collection, but there are faster, easier, and cheaper way to do it rather than spending money on gas and breaking your brakes and hurting the car. There are cheaper ways to do that rather than driving around town, but it's a very important part of the business. It's the whole chapter 3 here in the book, right? All right. So, but it's the step that goes before. You can see here is the step before you make a contact. Contact is you make a contact with the actual human being, or they contact you, in which case you'll be jumping through to stage 3, which then it becomes a lead. When somebody's interested in actually selling, that's when it becomes leads. But I see quite a lot of people in the game confusing data, a piece of property address. They confuse it with people, which is the only place where money comes from. Okay. So the third core pillar is people. All right. Now, if you can understand it, the second core pillar is automation, meaning building a system, building a medium. Okay. Medium or media. Okay. For me, it's media because this video is going to be on Facebook. Okay. Which is one medium. It's also going to be on YouTube, potentially on Instagram. Okay. At least it's linked to Instagram. It's going to be on the podcast, right? So media, okay? So when I say automation, it's basically automating the serving people, which is the third core pillar with value, right? You bring value to people. That's how you create money. It's no different in real estate, okay? That's how you get rich in flipping houses. If you can find a way to put that into a system, okay, that you can repeat over and over like a well-oiled machine, while you keep it simple, because if you don't keep things simple, you'll get frustrated out of the business, right? But sometimes simple is relative, right? It depends on what you're looking at. Some people say, hey, like somebody told me the other day, you're the engineer, so it sounds easier, right? They're right, but also it's also true that when you want something bad enough, you figure out how to build a system around it, right? And if you don't want it bad enough, you give all kind of excuses. You rather drive around town writing down addresses, and you say, "Nah, I just like to keep it simple." Well, so it's true that simple is relative, but consider the fact that we're in 2020. Okay, digital marketing, as close to digital as possible. is the only way you can compete in the game of getting rich flipping houses. Because if it was easy as not set up a system, everyone else would be doing it, right? So there's something you need to learn. The skills of marketing you need to learn. And then you have to build a machine, an automated machine that bring value to people consistently, repeatedly, right? And when people get this, they become a lead in your pipeline. Then you're building out the pipeline, and that's how to get rich flipping houses. Exactly how to do that step by step is something that we cover in 11dayschallenge.com. You can set all that up in 11 days. Okay. You can start generating leads. Okay. What do I mean by generating leads? I didn't say write down addresses. That's just data collection. That's just basically stage one. You're stuck at stage one if all you're doing is writing down addresses, right? We're talking about talking to real human beings, okay, that are now interested in selling. Potentially, a percentage of them will be interested in selling. That's stage three. And then you can set up a contract, and then you can close deals. Okay, those are the stages right there. If you want to take it serious and you want to learn how to flip houses. Now, some people, what about the part where you rehab? Well, rehabbing is rehabbing. Okay, some people consider that being part of flipping houses, but that's completely a matter of choice. You can decide you want to rehab, but the house you're going to rehab has to be found in a certain way. Okay, we call it real estate wholesaling, but it's all part of flipping houses. You find a house that's in distress, or the homeowner is in distress. At the very minimum, the homeowner has to feel the distress. If the house is in distress and the homeowner doesn't feel the distress, that's what you call a non-motivated seller. You're basically wasting energy. Okay. So once you find a motivated seller, essentially people, remember the third core pillar is people. It's all in this book, right? If once you find that, then you're in the game. Everything else before that, also you need to master. That's marketing. That's called marketing. Okay, because without marketing, you're wasting energy. You're just running a charity organization from the discomfort of your home. All right. So that's how to get rich flipping houses. Put all that into a system. If you're brand new here, go get this book. If you already read the book 10 to 15 times, then you should be on 11dayschallenge.com setting it up. Listen, I'll tell you right now, there's tons of people creating courses and stuff like that and all over the place. We pride on ourselves in the step-by-step execution, okay? A lot of courses out there, what they do is they sit down like this and they just talk at you, and somehow you're supposed to figure the rest out. That's not what we do here. It's not a course. It's a coaching program. It's a challenge. You do step by step until you generate your first lead. Once you generate your first lead in a way that's simple and you can repeat consistently, you're in the game, okay? The next topic here is, do you need a question? You need a license for real estate wholesaling. Now, this question is timely because just last week we found out, according to some other channel, actually I haven't really checked it because of what I'm about to share with you, that Philadelphia is now requiring people to have some kind of license to wholesale. Okay. There are a couple of solutions around that. Okay. If you've been following me, a place, a location, geolocation, a state requiring license to wholesale would not have been an issue for you. Okay, if you have been following me, but thank God you're here to hear this right now. Okay, first thing first is that if you need a license for real estate wholesaling, depends on the location. Okay, I know a few places where it's been regulated. Okay, so first of all, first thing I want you to note is that if they're requiring a license, that means, hello, real estate wholesale. At least that question is answered. Okay, the only thing is that they want to regulate it. Okay. So anytime you have a flock of people coming into the business, right? The problem is that there's also going to be an increased number of people taking advantage of the vulnerable, taking advantage of people wrongfully. Okay. So when that happens, that forces the government agencies to come in, FTC for internet marketing, FCC for the marketing media world. In this case, you have the board commission, depending on what state you live in. They will never be able to say wholesaling is illegal, but they want to regulate it. Okay. So regulating does not equal to illegal. Okay. But here's where the problem comes in. A lot of people make that a reason why they shouldn't get into the game or why they feel discouraged. A lot of people think they're in the game, but they're not really in the game. They hang out in the comment sections and stuff on social media, but they're not really in the game because they're not actively marketing. If you're not actively marketing, you're not in the game. Okay, that's really the simple, right? But let's just assume that you're watching me right now. You're actively marketing, right? If you're actively marketing, if you haven't closed one deal, most places will not bother you about licenses. Okay, the license issue comes when people start closing deals back to back to back, and then a few people are complaining that somebody is stealing money or houses from them. Okay. Now, when people complain or you see on the news channel, right? Sorry, excuse me. When people complain and you see on the news channel somebody got put on a blast for being a scam artist or anything like that, that's because that person has had significant enough, at least enough, quote unquote, enough number of people complaining that they robbed them. Okay, that's what that means. Okay, doesn't mean they're doing something wrong. It just means they're deemed to be doing something wrong. Okay. And if you are deemed to be doing something wrong, then you should fix that because you're doing business with people, right? Remember the third core pillar. So people need to kind of deem what you're bringing to the marketplace as value. And if they're telling you otherwise, even though you feel different, you should adjust something clearly, right? So with that being said, there are certain places. Okay, so for example, Illinois, not too long ago, I think some months ago, Illinois started regulating. They gave a requirement that if you are closing more than one deal in any given 1 year, that you have to be licensed as a licensed agent. Okay, boom, it's still legal. You just got to be licensed. But if you haven't closed one deal, that's not a problem you should solve. Remember, I keep telling you, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they try to solve stage 5 problems in stage 1. Okay, you should learn how to get to at least stage 3, generate leads before you complain that it doesn't work. Okay, that's how entrepreneurship anywhere works. That's how it works exactly. That's the way it works. So you learn stage by stage. Each stage represents a problem that you're solving. So if you haven't closed one deal yet, why are you worried about licensing in Illinois? Once you close your one deal, that means you're in the game. Okay. But even at that, you can find partners that are realtors, which you should anyway, and become friends with them and pay them commission to do all the legwork for you in Illinois. They do all the legwork and you just be the marketer. Just simply don't interact with sellers or buyers. Let them interact. They understand your game. I learned that a long time ago, as far as back as 2006 from my first mentor. Have a realtor on the team. You just the marketer. That's where the money is from. When you create people, flock of people coming through the pipeline, PP, right? Promotion, PPP. That's where, like, without that, there's no business for realtor. There's no business for realtors. There's no business for brokers. There's no business for anyone. And this is what you're supposed to be mastering and learning. You can also, as the business of flipping houses, right? You can also leave that angle. The realtor process the whole paperwork because they're the realtor, they're licensed. Now they can do it legally, but they report back to you because you're the one that will execute everything because you understand the process in 11 days challenge, right? And then on the end of it, you close the deal, they get paid commission. Nice, brilliant check. They didn't have to create the lead. You created the lead, you close the deal. And if you want to flip the houses as a rehabber, now you have a nice little house in your hands too, you can do. Okay, so do you need a license? No. What I will tell you is that change your mindset about that question. Okay, a license is needed at some point in the process of real estate transactions. Okay, but again, it's a license. Get someone to get licensed. Get someone on your team that's licensed, or get someone to get licensed, or you yourself go get licensed. It's just another obstacle, just another piece of problem that you solve. When you solve it, you sell it to other people. Very simple. All right. All right. So that's that about that. Next topic here. How do I begin flipping houses? How do I begin? All right. One of the most commonly asked questions is how do I get started? How do I begin? Where do I start from? How do I start from? That's why I created 11 days challenge. Why? Because there are tons of gurus selling $25,000 programs, $5,000 programs, $2,000, $1,000 programs out there. And basically, it's just a talking head teaching you all the definitions there is to know about real estate. Even in the world of realtors. You experience the same thing. You go to go to the classes. You're just going to learn real estate law. You're not going to learn marketing. Okay. And you can ask someone like Gary Keller. Gary Keller did a whole book on the millionaire agent, the millionaire investor. You can find those books. Those are very good books that will teach you the concepts of what I'm talking about, building a pipeline, right? So either you're a realtor or you're the broker. Without a pipeline, you're just basically donating money to the government. Okay. So how do you begin? The way you begin flipping houses depends on what kind of flipping houses you're talking about. If you're talking about uh, rehabbing houses to flip, you still have to find these deals. The way you find these deals, you reach out to wholesalers. Okay, find a group where wholesalers are distributing and get on their list. Okay, that's one way. If you want to focus on rehabbing houses, but if you just want to focus on the grand definition of flipping houses, which start from marketing, okay, meaning finding houses from distressed homeowners and flipping it into the market for retail buyers, and you're making a spread in between. If you want to do that, obviously, where you begin is learn how to find deals. Okay, so you can find deals, you can pick up the phone and start calling all the people that own houses in your neighborhood. That's a terrible way to get started. You can start driving around town and writing out addresses with overgrown weeds and stuff like that. That's also, if you've seen me here, that's also a terrible way to get started, because if you've seen me here, that means you have access to better strategies. Okay, doesn't mean that strategy won't work at some point. I'm just concerned you won't keep working until it works. Okay, you're going to get frustrated out of the game. Okay, but it starts from finding deals. What does deals look like? It means people that own distressed real estate but also want to sell. So just because they own it doesn't mean they want to sell. There are too many people. Once you start reaching out, creating outreach campaigns, you will find that there's so many people that own properties, overgrown weed, terrible looking houses on the block, but they don't want to sell because they feel like they have a gem. Another reason, terrible reason, to just drive around town writing down addresses, because you're not even close to the money. Where's the money? Okay, let's talk about the money. The money is all the way to the extreme right, deals, right? But you're starting at stage one. Everyone starts there. But what I'm telling you, when it comes to the three core pillar, the middle pillar is automation. The second pillar is automation. You want to automate stage 1 to 3 as much as possible. Stage 1 to 3 should not involve your personal time as much as possible. Okay? Stage 1 to 3 should not involve your personal time. You should make sure stage 1 to 3 does not involve your personal time as much as possible. Maybe a little input, set up campaign, turn off campaign, pause campaign, right? Things like that. That takes 2 to 5 minutes. Okay. But the idea is to eliminate yourself as much as possible. Because why? Because that improves and encourages consistency. When it involves you a lot, it discourages consistency. Why? Because we get tired as human beings, right? We get tired. Even if you want it bad enough, there's a point you get to that the same thing that's not generating money as fast as humanly possible will simply not be worth your time. Okay. So that's why you see a lot of people quit prematurely, because they're involved in the part of the process that's not close enough to the money. And a lot of that activity, a lot of those activities is consuming, time consuming. And a lot of people actually hurt their relationships in the process. Okay, because that's time away from family, it's time away from the things that matter, that truly matters in life. The same reason why you want to build a business, freedom, right? So I'm telling you right now, you want to learn everything from stage 1 to 5 and learn how to set up properly, so you can just focus on stage 3. What is stage 3? Which is lead generation, just the people. You're just talking, you're pre-qualifying people. Because even though you set up automation to take care of stage 1 and 2, when you start generating leads consistently, you still have to pre-qualify them. Either you automate it or not, you have to pre-qualify them. So you want to automate 1 and 2 as much as humanly possible. Okay. And then you focus on 3 and 4, and then 5 should be no issue if you're locking up the right type of contract. All right. So that's that. Last but not least topic we want to cover today is how much I make flipping houses. Okay. This is I have my full blown story. Okay. Starting from 2004 December, There is a video that I'm going to suggest that you watch. Okay. Let me see if I can. No, just all you want to do. Okay. What you want to do is simply Google Wholesaling 101 OLA. Okay. Let me actually see if that works. Okay. I need to make sure that works before I send you to go do that. All right. But it should work. Wholesaling 101. 101 OLA. Right. And yes, that brings up, well, actually, that brings up way too many videos. No, actually, it brings it up. Free wholesaling. Okay, there you go. So it brings it up. It should bring it up at position number 1 on Google results. It's called Free Wholesaling 101 course. Okay. If you want to know my full story, I talked about one of the videos in the modules is actually how I made $82,000 from one deal. That happened in 2006. I've been trying to beat that record, but haven't done that. Averaging per deal is $25,000. Okay, but a lot of times there's partners on the deals that have to get paid and stuff like that. Okay, so actually I've never really sat down to do the math of how much I net, because netting to me, I also have family member who is also a partner, a business partner. So I don't know exactly what that means, but all you need to know is per deal averaging $25,000. Now it depends on your location, okay, or the location you decide to target. If properties are below $150,000 or less, okay, you can expect that there's not enough spread to make $25,000 average. But there are many people that are doing extremely well, making $10,000 average on a deal. I have made $0 on a deal before. Okay, so basically, I did all the work that was supposed to be done, meaning I had a motivated seller. Okay, I had a motivated seller. I had a good house. We did the deal, and at the end of the deal and everything, I walked out with nothing. Okay, why? Because we found out that there was liens against the property that we were not told, we didn't foresee, and the only way we could close the deal is to take care of the lien. But what we did at that time is that we had the lawyer, the buyer agreed to pay the extra, a little profit for us, but they paid in the form of a promissory note. So basically, they now owe us money, kind of like a mortgage. They owe us money. I think it was like $10,000 against the property. And when they do decide to flip, so they wanted the deal. The deal was such a good, sweet deal for them. They wanted the deal. They paid the extra 10 grand, but they paid it in the form of a promissory note, because there was a financing on the table that only covered a certain amount of money. So kind of we financed the deal with $10,000 that would have been our profit, and then we just kind of forgot about it. Okay, and I say we because there was a partner on the deal, 50-50. And basically a few months down the line, my partner called me and said, "Hey, Ola, I'm sending you a $5,000 check. We just got paid. Our buyer did the house, rehabbed the house, closed the deal, and we just got sent a $10,000 check." I was like, "Yay!" So that does happen. Again, is you're gonna make big money sometimes. You're gonna make in between money sometimes. That's why you don't want to get stuck on, "I want to close my first deal." It's a beautiful thing. It does change your life and it's a proof of concept when you do close your one deal. However, you want to build a system that continues to spit leads into your pipeline, so you're not at the mercies of one deal that fails, or you can't make any money, or you're disappointed. You should have a pipeline. It's better you build a pipeline. All right, that's all I have for you on this particular session. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. Don't forget, go to smartrealestatewholesaling.com. Go get the book for free if you're brand new. It's a book you need to read 10 to 15 times. Why? Because your mindset is primarily what drives your business. Okay, it drives everything. Your energy, the energy you bring into the game. Do you bring a champion mindset in the game, or you just I'm frustrated, right? All of that's going to be driven by your mindset, not necessarily by the reality of life. All right. So just keep that. That's why I said read the book 10 to 15 times. And if you go there right now, I'll give you the second book, Real Estate Money Secrets, for free as well. And the option of Kindle, the option of buying it on Amazon, audiobook, all of that option is back there as well. All right. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.